The Oxfordshire countryside bathed in glorious sunshine, not a hint of the rain which has plagued this area in recent days. But don't be fooled, that rainwater, coupled with vast amounts of groundwater, is only now running off these fields into tributaries and down into the Thames. Further down the river, in Oxford, the results of the previous week's rain are everywhere. Parks, playing fields, even this massive allotment are still under water. But flood barriers have saved properties. In the countryside south of the city, the picture's even worse.
Many of the fields below have been underwater for weeks. For the farmers, it's an absolute nightmare, and there is no relief in sight for them. The ground is absolutely saturated. Even without rain, it will take many more weeks before they clear.
In Berkshire, the country's largest man-made hydraulic channel has been working overtime. The Jubilee River is diverting huge amounts of floodwater out of the Thames and away from vulnerable communities. There's no doubt it's helped towns like Windsor. The playing fields of Eton may be flooded, but the bulk of the town is safe. But the Jubilee River has been blamed for adding to the problems of other communities like Wraysbury, which has suffered so much in recent days.
Well, after more than a week of misery for the people of Wraysbury, there is some relief. The flood levels are receding, and many of the streets that we filmed in recent days that have been underwater are now visible again.
Into Surrey and another man-made fix, this time in Chertsey. The Aquadam, or Chertsey sausage as it's been nicknamed, is certainly effective, but it's not a permanent solution. For that, you have to travel even further downriver, to the awesome site of the Thames Barrier, raised once again today to combat the dual threat of floodwater and high tide.
The Thames Barrier has been raised more in recent weeks than at any time in its 30-year history, and without it, some of the capital's best-known landmarks would be underwater.
At a cost of £1 billion, the Thames Barrier certainly wasn't cheap, but it's safeguarding an estimated £200 billion in iconic property and infrastructure. Those we've visited further upriver can only dream of this level of flood protection. Mark White, Sky News over the Thames.